Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Produce Moms Podcast. And hey, we are so excited to continue on with this amazing sub-series that we are doing with the USDA and Family and Consumer Sciences. I think at this point in the series, we are all saying yes to FCS. And I hope that just like myself, you are learning how broad this discipline is in education. Like, I am blown away because, like I said in some of our earlier episodes, prior to, interviewing all these amazing people that are involved with FCS, I really kind of just thought it was nutrition and culinary arts. I had no idea how many different areas of our life and how many important areas of our life this sector of education touches. So carrying on with this amazing mini-series, we have a perspective that we really haven't put the spotlight on yet. And it might be the most important perspective. We're talking to the actual students, and so excited. We have three incredible guests. They're all at different stages with their education and their pathway to saying yes for FCS. And our first guest today is Kevin Homan. Kevin is an FCS education student. He's actually preparing for student teaching. He is from the state of Illinois. He's a student at Purdue University. Our second guest today is Hannah Jones. She is a brand new high school graduate. Congratulations, Hannah. She is the national FCCLA First Vice President, and she's coming to us from the state of Kentucky. And we also have Kenzlee Camp, and Kenzlee is an incoming college freshman at Oklahoma State University. She has declared her major as Family and Consumer Sciences. We are so glad all three of you are here. I'm going to give all of you a chance to introduce yourself right now at the top of the show. Kevin, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Kevin. Great to be here.
Thank you. And Hannah, welcome. We're thrilled you're here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Like you said, my name is Hannah Jones, and I'm from the great state of Kentucky, and I am honored to be FCCLA's National First Vice President this year.
Great. Welcome. And Kenzlee, we are so glad you're here.
I'm so excited to be here and so thankful to talk about Family and Consumer Sciences and FCCLA. Family and Consumer Sciences really shaped who I am as a leader and really guided my career path. So I'm so excited to let people know about it and hopefully encourage some more educators and FCCLA participants.
Thank you. And Kevin, I want to kick this show off with you because so much of what we have talked about thus far in this mini series has been, how do we recruit folks to become FCS educators? How do we support them when they've declared that as their major? You are on the brink of the conclusion of your collegiate studies. So all you have left is student teaching. Is that correct?
Actually, I do have one semester left of actual school, and then I'm going to be student teaching, but it's my last year.
Yeah. Okay. So totally, you're right there. Tell us a little bit more about how you came to this decision to be an FCS teacher.
Yeah, sure. So it was about sophomore year of high school. My Family and Consumer Sciences teacher, Mrs. Wendy Albert, she noticed I had a really knack for culinary arts and restaurant management. And she brought up to me Kevin, you could make a living out of this. And it was her influence and her just being a great teacher for me throughout my all 4 years of high school, she's the reason why I want to be an FCS teacher.
I love that. And so she has to be one of your role models as you look at your career journey. Are there any others that stick out as someone that you would say, man, that was definitely someone that influenced me?
Oh, definitely. Once I got to Purdue University and was welcomed into the FCS major by Dr. Carol Burhan. She's really guided me along my program.
That's great. Is she the dean or a professor, or what is her role?
So she's a professor, and she oversees like the majority of, or basically all of the FCS classes at Purdue.
Wow, that's great. And hands-on with the students. You got to love that. I would imagine that there's many people at your stage of their academic career at Purdue, like they can't say that about their department head.
Very true. Yeah. Like she will fight for you. She's a great person, always has our backs, is a super supportive person as well.
That's wonderful. So, wow, we will talk more about you being so close to your student teaching. I will say that one thing that we've talked about extensively in the previous episodes, Kevin, has been the fact that there is such a pathway to gainful employment with FCS education. Was that a catalyst for you, knowing that, hey, I'm going to make this investment in my undergrad, I'm going to declare FCS as my major, go through, teacher training, and I am not going to have a problem finding a job?
Yeah, that was definitely like a big selling point for me as well. In addition to just loving the content, the job security of like, once I graduate, it's very likely that I will find a job really quick.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing. Good. Well, we're going to hear from you more as the show carries on. And I'd like to welcome Kenzlee, really for the same question. How did you end up pursuing family and consumer sciences? You've declared it as your major as an incoming college freshman.
Yeah, I think I always knew deep down that I wanted to be a family consumer sciences educator. But I think like my light bulb, this is what I want to do moment really happened going into my senior year. I had this moment where I was struggling with, I don't have a plan. I don't know what I want to pursue in college. And I was going in with this thought, and I had to hop on a Zoom call. I served as the state president, so I had to hop on a Zoom call with my state officer team and my newly chosen state advisor, Miss Brittany Phillips. And we had this particular Zoom call. We had a workshop training, how to host a workshop, things that we needed to know to just be successful in that area. And even as Miss Phillips was talking, you could just see the love and passion that she had for the organization and had for what she was doing. And as I shut my computer, I knew that that's exactly what I wanted to do. I loved the opportunity that it gave me to get invested into the lives of leaders and really just show them like the necessary skills that they need to be successful and really help define their futures.
Any role models that you'd like to call out? It sounds like Kevin has had such great support at Purdue University. What was your support system like when you started family and consumer sciences education? Was it middle school, high school? When did you begin, and who was a big catalyst for that?
Yeah, I started in high school, and all 4 years of high school, I was really lucky to have 5 advisors. And I know that sounds like a lot, but at my specific high school, we have 2 advisors, and then I had 2 state advisors. And they just were really big about showing me the model for what a strong FCS teacher should look like, and really impacted me and invested into my leadership journey. And they were huge catalysts for my decision to major in FCS education, but also at the collegiate level, Dr. Paula Tripp, she's the family and consumer sciences coordinator at Oklahoma State University. And she really invested into my journey in deciding to become an FCS teacher, making sure that I had all the opportunities that were afforded to me, making sure that I was connected with opportunities on campus. And she also inspired me because she's such a huge advocate for FCS education and FCCLA in general. And all of the future goals that she has for the Oklahoma State program are just truly amazing and gives me hope for my future career.
That's fantastic. And Hannah, you just wrapped up your high school studies and you're currently serving as the FCCLA National First Vice President. So tell us more about FCCLA. It's definitely an organization that has been brought up several times in this sub-series. It's such a partnership or sisterhood between FCS and FCCLA. But what's your point of view? Like, why is FCCLA so great?
I've always loved to get this question. FCCLA has truly changed my life in so many ways that I don't think we have enough time to talk about. But the thing that is so great about FCCLA, I always say it's two things. It's the people and the opportunities. Every single person I have ever met throughout the last 4 years in this organization, they are just so like non-judgmental. They are so caring and so helpful. And they have this passion just for not only FCCLA, but for life and anything that they want to do. They go full force and they're like, nothing's going to stop me. And that's what I love about it. Everyone is just so kind and so inspiring. And also, like I said, the opportunities, throughout the past 4 years, and many other people will agree with me, you have so many opportunities to travel, to network, to really just broaden your horizons and really just go out of your comfort zone. And I don't really think you can get that anywhere else.
Yeah, it is always unique when something that is, part of everyday life, like education, can open up unique worldly experiences for us. So I've definitely been able to witness that through the collaboration that my business has done with FCCLA in the past, and certainly through this series. Oh my goodness, like so many amazing stories. But how have these experiences impacted your plans for the future? I mean, you're headed to college. What's next?
So, yes, in the fall, I will be attending the University of Kentucky with a major in political science and on the track to go to law school and become a lawyer. I always joke with people because my entire life, I wanted to be in the medical field. I would go back and forth from wanting to be an obstetrician to a neonatal surgeon to a trauma surgeon. And the medical field was just always what I had my head toward. But through FCCLA, I've got all these opportunities to go and advocate. And every year we have what we call Capital Leadership, which is a few days kind of conference that's in Washington, D.C. And we get to go and we get to advocate for whatever cause it is that year we're advocating for. And I got to do that my junior year, and being on Capitol Hill and speaking to these representatives and senators and about something I was truly passionate about. I was just kind of like, wow, I want to do this for a living. And my brother, he's a lawyer, so I've kind of seen that side of it too. But really, besides being a lawyer, I do want to go into politics. And so FCCLA completely changed what I wanted to do in the future. And I think it helped me find something that was my true calling. And I'm so incredibly thankful for that.
Yeah, I love that. So Kevin, what are some supportive measures that help ensure students like yourself finish their college teaching program? I mean, the dropout rate in college, the incompletes, it's so real. It affects every single college campus around the globe. So what happens for college students that are in the FCS track where there's, a unique level of support?
So yeah, the supportive measures I feel are like the students themselves. Like we are all in the classes together. We basically almost grow up with each other. Another thing is again, Dr. Carol Werhan. She is such an amazing instructor, professor, always making sure we're okay with the content and if there's anything that we need help on, she is there for that.
And Kenzlee, what would you say was the biggest motivating factor in pursuing a career in this area?
Well, I think for me, when I started my high school career, I knew that whatever I chose to do with my life, whether that be a STEM field, human services, it just needed to be something that had a positive impact on people. And when I was introduced to FCS at FCCLA, it really opened up this door to a brand new opportunity for me to be involved in the lives of students. And I absolutely loved getting to have an impact on students and invest in their futures. So that was always a huge motivating factor for me.
Yeah. And I'd love to get your perspective too on, what we just asked Kevin, anything that happened in your studies that have been really helpful in preparing you for what's ahead with your career?
Yeah, I really just think all of the leadership training that my FCS classes in FCCLA has given me, because a lot of the things that I've learned in my leadership journey have really just shaped who I am and afforded me so many opportunities that gave me kind of an eye into what I wanted to do. So I would definitely say that for sure.
That's great. And Hannah, what do you think can be done to encourage more high school students to pursue FCS education?
Yeah, for sure. I really think the biggest thing that we can do to recruit more family consumer sciences educators is to advocate. Some people, like you said at the beginning of this podcast, a lot of people think that family consumer sciences just deals with culinary and it's cooking and that type of thing. But it's not. And I think sharing that story of how FCCLA and family consumer sciences, it teaches you real world skills that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life. And that's such an incredible opportunity to be able to teach people those things. I always say, family consumer sciences is not your regular high school class. And I say that I always think that it should be required to take at least 1 year of it. But it's not like math and science. It's not something that you have to sit down and you have to learn and you're never going to look at it again. It's something that you learn these skills and that you take them with you for the rest of your life. And it not only helps you grow in your studies or your career, but it helps you in life. And so I really think just sharing our stories and having family consumer sciences educators share their stories is really just the biggest way to get more FCS educators.
For sure. And what was one of those life lessons that you were, able to study in the classroom thanks to FCS? What was one of them? I'm going to ask all three of you this question, but Hannah, would love to hear from you. What was one of your favorite classes?
I only took the early childhood education pathway, and I got to learn it was about like a baby and how, they grow from, the moment of conception all the way up to adolescence. And I think that's really cool too. Whenever I grow up and I get married and have a family, that's something awesome to me to really know how my child is growing and how every little thing will affect them, how their brain develops. I think that's really important with kids to understand at what age, how they're developing and what things they comprehend. I just think that is so cool. And to really learn that in the FCS classroom is just awesome.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I said it previously, each and every episode, I'm learning that there's more and more to FCS. I had no idea that child development fell under that umbrella as well. So thank you, Hannah, for sharing your story. Kevin, what about you? I mean, I know that you're preparing for a career in hospitality and culinary arts, but please tell us a little bit more about some of the other classes and study paths that really resonated with you.
So a lot of the classes that I've been taking are like throughout the major fields of FCS. And one field I never thought I would get really involved in was fashion construction. I know it's probably one of the more run-of-the-mill fields.
I don't know. What is it? Fashion construction? Is it like legitimately textiles and sewing, or what is it?
So yeah, a lot of like the class that I learned was like learning how to teach people like how to sew with different types of fabric, different types of stitchings, how to operate a sewing machine and stuff like that.
Nice. Yes. And I know that interior design and fashion design, all that stuff falls under the FCS umbrella, which again, I had no idea, you guys, until I started this series. So thanks for sharing, Kevin. And Kenzlee, what about you?
Well, I think that I've taken several FCS classes over the years, and they all have, there's so much you can learn in an FCS class. So I think a practical lesson that I learned in all of my studies is just to remember that you're still growing, that you don't have to worry about being perfect the first time or getting it right exactly the first time. If you mess up, that's an opportunity for growth, and you just have to continue to build off your mistakes and your setbacks to just make the best product that you can.
That's so good. Well, you guys, this has been the most amazing episode. I really have enjoyed listening to all of you, but I want to make sure that we have an opportunity for all three of you to have any final remarks or thoughts on, really just this entire concept. I mean, this is so raw and real to hear from the three of you who have declared FCS as your major, who have, you're Kevin, you're so close to being an educator yourself. And Hannah, here you are, you found your passion by way of your involvement largely in FCS and FCCLA. So this is going to be really special closing remarks. And Hannah, I invite you to come first. Then Kevin and Kenzlee will have you sign us off from today's show.
Yeah, whenever you said closing remarks, it kind of just reminded me of, at my very first National Leadership Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, the incoming national president, Kennedy Strickler, she really began her incoming president speech with that family and consumer sciences is the launching pad for all career pathways. And that's something that has always resonated with me because it is. I think you don't have anything if you don't have family and consumer sciences. If you don't have those basic skills, you're not going to go very far in life. And I think family and consumer sciences really gives that to everybody. And so does FCCLA. And I just really want to reiterate that these organizations and these education pathways, they pave the way for your future, and they are so incredibly important. And I really want everybody in the world to get to experience that.
I love that. Thank you, Hannah. And thank you for being here. Kevin, how about you? Any closing remarks from your point of view? Anything you want people to really take away from today's episode?
I would just like to say that family and consumer sciences have been a very supportive field for me, and it's never made me feel alone ever. I really found my people with this group. And if you want to find your people too, FCS can be for you.
I love that. And Kenzlee, you, not only do I welcome you for closing remarks, you actually get to say goodbye to all of our listeners too. But thank you again for being part of this show. And please, your closing remarks and the final goodbye for today's show.
Yeah, I would definitely say that when you're considering FCS and FCCLA, just remember that a cover is not the book. There are so many opportunities to get involved and to find your passion in. And even if you don't find a passion in family and consumer sciences education or fashion or many of the other opportunities that we offer, you will be given so many life skills, so many family skills that will set you up for success in your future career. And I really encourage anyone that's interested, or even if you're not interested, just really reach out, find out more about it, and get involved. It truly shaped who I am as a leader and really set me up for success. And I definitely recommend it to anybody.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to Lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.